Hey guys, so today we are upcycling a table. And last time I tried to upcycle one of these tables, it just never got done. This is the table that Ben and I do all of our work at. This is what we spend probably, I wouldn't say the majority of our day, but a pretty good portion of our day working on, and it kind of kills me how it looks. We've got some like peeling from, I think this is like vinyl or something like that. I don't actually know. It's one of those really old tables that you can tell, or most people have probably seen them in their life. It's just a folding table that looks like someone tried to make it look like wood on top. And while they were a great table back in their day, they've since been very well loved and used, and it's time for a new life. Last time I tried to do one of these, I actually tried to paint 3 wood slats and then have them glued or screwed to the tabletop to give it more of like a faux farm table look. Those 3 boards are still sitting in my mother's basement, and the table is sitting there too because I never finished. So this one, I thought maybe we'd take a bit of a different approach and make it easier. So what we're doing today is we're going to peel off all this vinyl, or whatever this is on top, I don't know. We're going to peel all that off and just expose what's underneath, wipe it all down, and then we're going to apply some vinyl sticker wood looking stuff. I got this off Amazon. It is just basically peel and stick vinyl. It's got 2 layers, so once we're ready to actually apply it, we're going to just kind of lay it flat, and then we will just peel the back off and then try to push all the bubbles out as we go. One thing that I am a little worried about is there are a ton of like puffy areas here where they look like they were water problems, or where they've kind of like expanded in spots, because underneath this, it's almost like corkboard, but it's not. It's harder than that. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, when water gets on it, they just start to swell. And we've got some like chunks under here that I'm kind of worried about. We're probably not going to be able to get smooth, and I am not going to take up time just sanding it down. I don't care that much. So I'm going to start by peeling all this up, and Ben's going to help me because he loves me and doesn't want me doing this all by myself, right? So we'll get started and then we'll move on to the next step. It's probably going to take a while though. We're going to look it up and see if there's an easier way to do this. It says apply heat, use a putty knife, and then remove the residue. You could try the hair blow dryer. Camera kicked off, not even halfway through peeling it. The hair blow dryer made it a million times easier. It just heated up the vinyl and made it super easy to peel off. The top really feels kind of tacky now, so I'm going to wipe it down before we apply the next vinyl. For anyone else wanting to actually do this, our table had cuts in the top. Hopefully it'll be easier for you, because every time we reached a slice in the vinyl, we had to start all over again because it would just tear that big chunk in half. So I don't think it took that long though, maybe like 20-30 minutes, something like that. My fingers hurt from the hot air, but
it didn't take long at all. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Oh my gosh. 6 months later. been drying for about an hour now. It still feels like it's got kind of a rough texture with stuff on top of it, but I don't know how much of that we're going to be able to do or take care of just because of how old this thing is. But I'm not terribly worried about it just because we are just repurposing an old table, so I'm not expecting it to be perfect. So what we're going to do, it's going to take 2 strips of this, and this is a 72-inch table. So we're going to have to lay one out and then cut the other one. I think that's the way I'm going to do it and not try to lay or cut both in half, if that makes sense, and try to get the seam down the middle. But we'll see. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. So first impression, it feels nice and thick. Like, I'm pretty excited about this. So this roll is like 17.5 inches wide by 32 feet. So there's actually enough here to do 2 tables. And we've got a couple others that we might do if this goes well. So we'll see. Layers down. We're just going to go ahead and cut the corners off this one to make them rounded, and then we'll lay the second layer down. So because I want the boards to actually line up like real wood, we're going to take this one and then cut along the line here. And then we'll wind up still having to trim a little on this side because it's too long. But at least if I cut along this board line, then it'll look like closer to actual wood. So we're going to do that. That's it. Brand new table. Like new table. You can still feel the bumps underneath it, but I think only we will know they're there. Just because of the texture of the table, you really can't see anything. But I think this turned out awesome. I am super happy with the way it looks. It's way better than the stuff that was peeling off. And now we've got extra in case it starts to peel. So we're going to let it sit. I don't know if we should be doing anything to kind of push it down more. Kind of surprised you can kind of feel the seam in the middle from the 2 layers, but it's actually not that bad. And it looks like it's one consistent sheet, and so that makes me happy. Makes my OCD happy. So I love it though. It'll make me feel better about coming and working on something like this instead of the other one. It feels like a whole brand new table. So I'll put a link in the description to the different products we used. The only one we actually had to go out and buy was the vinyl. Everything else is hopefully something you would have in your house, like an X-Acto knife and a ruler. Oh, and scissors. It's kind of it. So yeah, super easy. All we did was peel everything off, reapply the new one, and I am just thrilled. So thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.